Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last year when we collected in the evaluation forms, a few people said that we might want to try and lighten some of the topics slightly. So I don't think this really requires much of an introduction. It is Have CI Got News For You, and it's based on the quiz show Have I Got News For You, which is a satirical news show for those of you who haven't seen it before. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce on to say Nigel Munson. He is our host for this evening's quiz. And if I could ask the panellists to come out now and please take their positions. You may notice we're bringing some champagne around. This is so you find the jokes hilarious.
You got the sound on?
Gentlemen, feel free to drink some champagne while we wait. You may need it.
The game show that really is at the forefront of cutting-edge shipping-related satire. Don't believe me? Then why don't you try this cartoon for size? A few titters there. We're warming up for the hilarity that is coming very soon. I'm your host, Nigel Munson. Hired entirely by mistake after Containerization International left it to their dyslexic intern to give their preferred host, Nigel Mansell, a call. Luckily, I am an expert at maritime-related humour. For instance, have you heard the joke about the inflatable anchor? No? I better not tell it. It might not go down well. It's great stuff. In the news this week, George Clooney has expressed disappointment at not being cast in the latest instalment in the Oceans franchise. Meanwhile, somewhere in Europe, MSC and Maersk announced that after 10 days locked in a boardroom, they have finally agreed on a new alliance name. Now let's meet the teams. On Jesper's team tonight, we have Senior Associate of Holman Fenwick Willen LLP, Matthew Gore. Matthew specialises in transactional, corporate and commercial law, and in his spare time he's also a member of HFW's Port and Logistics Group, a funk and soul group best known for their hit Roll On, Roll Off. Also on Jesper's team, we have Michael Nielsen, Senior Vice President of Carrier Account Management over at Intra. Intra has been at the forefront of ocean shipping technology for over 2 decades, and Michael, you've held positions of increasing responsibility, including Chief Technology Officer and Senior VP for Global Commercial Sales. However, he still hasn't managed to pass level 10 of Mario Kart. Over on Chris's team tonight, we have Commissioner Richard Ladinsky Jr. Come from the Federal Maritime Commission, and Richard was sworn into office by Barack Obama, although he has assured us that there will be no swearing tonight. Finally, we have Commercial Director of Peel Ports, Patrick Walters. Patrick has extensive experience in overseas contract negotiations, sales, property matters and business intelligence. However, literally none of these skills will come in handy in tonight's quiz. So those are the teams. On with the show. The first round is a buzzer round, gentlemen. So I must ask you to please look under your tables and reveal the buzzers. So perhaps we can start with, I think you've only got 2 over there. Richard, if you have that. Can we just test the buzzers? So Matthew, Jesper?
How does it?
Flow into that end there. Very good. And Michael? Richard? Chris? Thank you. And Patrick? Very good. Okay, you're going to see a couple of pictures that are depicting a port. It's very simple. First one to guess the port, please buzz in. You're going to have to be quick, otherwise I'm going to open this up to the audience.
Rotterdam.
Correct! And what's been happening in Rotterdam recently? This is where I'm relying on your knowledge of the shipping industry because I know nothing. Cue shipping-related banter.
They've been dialing up basically. They've been getting very, very congested.
Have they?
Yeah, they haven't quite become rotten yet, but certainly down.
And what about this quarter? It's been quite good for Rotterdam, hasn't it? Especially in the LNG sector. And in line with Rotterdam's environmental policies, we would like to assure you that no oranges were harmed in the making of this slide. Okay, here's the next one. Yes!
Hamburg?
Yes! Hamburg recently announced its smart city vision, which includes a new nautical centre. The port's claimed that plans will create smoother operations, increased safety and higher productivity in 2015. However, the promotional poster has so far received mixed reactions from the shipping community. And here's your final guess at the port. Yes, Matthew.
Singapore.
Correct! And what's special about this year in Singapore for a bonus point? Yes, Mr. King.
It's no longer the world's #1 port. It's been overtaken by Shanghai.
That may well be true, but that is not what I'm looking at.
They've got some sort of anniversary.
Correct! 2015 sees 50 years of independence over in Singapore, and incidentally, 50 years is also the amount of time it took to write jokes for tonight's show. Can we have an update on the scores, please, Camilla?
3-1 to Chris's team.
Very good. That concludes that round. We now move on to the missing words round. You're going to see some front covers from the past year of Containerisation International. One of the words will be blanked out. I want you to guess the missing word. We'll start with Jesper's team.
Okay, what do you think? The final touch based on the shipping, maybe?
Close.
Can we interject if they get it wrong?
The customer. What else do you have for me? The care.
I'm going to have to hurry you for an answer. Customer touch, I'm afraid, is wrong. Have you got a...
Soft touch.
Ooh, let's maybe combine the two. The correct answer is the personal touch. This is an interview with Atlantic Container Line Chief Executive Andrew Abbott, who has been keeping things stable despite a turbulent industry. Much of his organisation's stability is due to his insistence that all management grow 10 megaton moustaches. Andrew's own moustache is so stable his face hasn't moved in 10 years. Okay, Chris's team. Aiming to be blank.
An astronaut?
I'm afraid that's not correct. Have you got any other?
The best.
No? What do we think? What's today all about?
Smug. Aiming to be smug.
I'm going to hand it over to this team.
Different.
Correct!
Hey.
Very good. This is Grant Daly from SAP Marine talking about the importance of differentiation in the modern container shipping line industry, which I believe is what you're doing here today. And I think we can all learn a lesson about differentiation from Grant, because as we can see, he's already broken shipping industry convention by wearing spots and stripes at the same time. Here's your next one. Whose team are we on? Your team.
Turkish delight.
However did you guess that? That is correct. This is Robert Yildirim, Chief Executive of Yilport, which I can only assume is some sort of confectionery business.
It might be because he owns CMA. He owns part of CMA, so that could well be.
Ah! I have no idea what that was talking about. Robert was interviewed for the magazine at a bustling port technology exhibition, which, of course, was nowhere near as exciting as the conference we were all at. I mean, did they have a failing actor hosting a game show rip-off? No, they didn't, and neither do you, actually. As I've already stated, I am a big name in maritime-related humour and on cruise ships. In fact, here's another joke for you. Where do you take a ship when it's unwell? To the dock. Here's the final missing word. Yes. That is correct. Size matters. Very good. This is Jeremy McHugh from Seco. I happen to agree with Jeremy. Size does matter. And while we're on the topic, ladies, it might interest you to know that I have size 13 feet. And I will be attending the sailing dinner later tonight. Okay. Can we have an update on the scores, please?
4-3 to Chris's team.
Very good. Okay, that concludes the missing words round. We now move on to the odd one out round. We'll start with Jesper's team, sorry. You're going to see 4 images. I want you to tell me the odd one out and tell me what connects the other 3.
Well, I certainly know 2 of them.
Could you name them for us?
Little and Sligo.
Yeah.
And do you know there? Does anybody, are you into boxing, Michael? Later, maybe. Well, I think we'll then go for these 3 here because they've had a fight on their hands over the last 6 months with the West Coast ports, and this guy here, he looks like he's had a fight on his hand, whereas I'm not sure about that gentleman up there.
Now, look, I'll give you a point for getting the right story. This is, of course, the 3 guys here run Oakland, LA, and Long Beach ports over on the West Coast. So that's Gene Soroka, John Slangerup, What was his
Chris
name?
Little.
Chris Little. And that's Chris Little as well, an Ultimate Fighting champion. But I'm afraid you got the wrong odd one out. Would you like to hazard a guess as to who you think the odd one out is?
Chris Little, the boxer, because that's the only photo that hasn't been airbrushed.
I think we'll give you a point for that answer, but it's not correct, I'm afraid. The first Chris Little is the odd one out because all the others are wearing contact lenses. Okay. Chris's team. What can you see? Why don't you try and take us through the ports up there? Because obviously you're shipping experts and you'll be able to identify them.
They're 3 container ports.
Hamburg. We've got Hamburg in the top right.